it's Ranger Olivia here today, and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to walk you through making some pressed flowers. Pressed flowers are a great nature activity. You can use it to ID the plants that are growing in your backyard and make a little catalog. But today we're going to use it to make a nice little Mother's Day craft. This craft is good to do for all ages, but we'll need some adult supervision. So let's get started. So there are a couple different ways to press your flowers. The first, most classic way is to sandwich them in between some heavy books and wait a while. Now this method is probably the easiest way, but you also have to wait about 3 weeks or more to get your flowers properly pressed. So what I'm going to show you now is a quicker way to do it using the microwave. So the first thing you'll need to do for this method is gather your materials. Since this is a quarantine edition, this is all things that you can hopefully find in your house, and you won't have to make any special trips to make this project. The first thing you'll need are flowers, and I realize it's the beginning of spring, so there's not a lot of flowers out, and maybe your mom doesn't want you to cut up a lot of her flowers, so look at some uncommon places, maybe some what we might consider weeds, but I like to call them wildflowers. Here's fleabane, there's also dead nettle on the table, and here's some wild violets, which you can find in pretty much any yard. You can also look at some other uncommon places like trees. Here's a dogwood flower. And you can also, don't be afraid to pick some leaves. Here's a hosta leaf, which is variegated and beautiful. Here's a lamb's ear. And on the table there, that heart-shaped leaf is a redbud. Next, you will need paper. This is just plain printer paper, but any sort of paper that will absorb water will work. You'll need your trusty microwave. Lastly, you'll need a ceramic tile, or if you don't have that, maybe a casserole dish. Just anything that's heavy and can withstand the heat of the microwave. So now that you have all your materials, you can get started pressing your flowers. The main thing you're trying to achieve when you're pressing flowers is just to take all the moisture out of the flower and lay it flat so it can be preserved. So we're going to do that by using the microwave. So now you want to take the stems off the flower and lay the flowers flat on the paper, making sure none of the petals are folded. So some flowers are thicker than others. Take this rose for example. What I'm doing here is I'm just taking out the middle bulky part. Sometimes I cut them in half so that they can lay flatter and dry out quicker. Next, you want to take that top piece of paper and fold it over the flowers, making sure again that all the flowers are laying flat and none of the petals are folded. So now you want to put your flowers into the microwave and put your tile or casserole dish on top of the flowers to weigh it down. Turn the microwave on low temp and heat the flowers in 30 to 60 second intervals. Some flowers are going to have more water content and take a little bit more time. So with this rose here, you'll see that it's sticking to the paper a little still, which probably means it needs more time. So what you're going to do is you're going to wait for it to cool down, transfer it to another piece of paper, and then go for 20 or 30 more seconds until it's dry. Every flower is a little bit different, so you're going to have to play with the process to see how much time each one needs. But you're going to repeat this until you have all the flowers you need to start decorating. You can play with your dogs while you wait. This is optional. Wait for your flowers to cool off completely. If you don't want to start decorating right away, I would wedge them inside a book so they stay nice and flat. Now there are plenty of ways to decorate with your dried flowers. Right here I'm just making a simple Happy Mother's Day card, and I'm going to decorate the front with the flowers. I'm going to be using Mod Podge, but you can also use Elmer's glue. And I'm just going to brush a really light coating of the glue on the bottom. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to give it a light coating of glue on the top as well. If you happen to have any frames lying around, that's a really nice way to preserve the flowers as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the flowers in the shape of a V, which is my mom's first initial. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a chance to do some of these crafts. In the meantime, stay safe and healthy and have a happy Mother's Day.